Well, perhaps as expected, we breezed through our first Europa League qualifying match against Adrian Mutu's Azerbaijani opposition. Today, though, things are a little bit tougher. We return for our second qualifier, which is on a knife edge. We've got a tough game away at the Champions to follow it domestically. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 39 of the Coach's Head with me, Daniel. We are back today at the top after a perfect start in a Croatian top tier. However, we've got to focus on Europe and what will be a very tough match. We've also got transfer news with a couple of first team additions and departures, a lot of players rejecting us and moves away. And of course, we've also got to go to last season's surprise champions, who have, of the poor starters, started amongst the better. So if you're looking forward to all of that and seeing how we do, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But for now, we have got Greek opposition to start with. And as you may have noticed, eagle-eyed viewers from the top right of the screen, it is on a bit of a knife edge at the moment. Let's go and have a look at the schedule though and have a look at what's been happening since you were last here. Because you were with me as we beat Varazdin in the Super Cup in a game we made incredibly hard work of. And that big 1-0 win away from home against Lokomotiva on the opening day of the league season. We followed it up with a very convincing win at home to Adrian Mutu's side in Europe. A 7-1 victory in this one, as Suslov opened the scoring, followed by Baishel, a Malaysia brace, Puklin and Maeda, as well as an own goal. That gave us a little bit of flexibility to play our first team at the weekend because we knew we could rotate for the second leg. We did just that, and then it was Malaysia, another brace from Fuad, the star in central midfield. More news on him in a minute. And then another Maeda penalty late on. He seems to be playing that role off the bench impeccably. To be fair though, since then, I've gone for a little bit of a change of approach. I've tried to reduce the number of substitutes I've made because we're playing twice a week every week. And one of the things I found in Copenhagen is everyone just got tired towards the end of the year. So I'm trying, rather than splitting the minutes 60-30, to give either 75-15 or, where possible, just do 90 minutes rest, 90 minutes rest. So that's what we did against Nefci in the second leg. We played a rotated 11 the whole way through, and it did cost us a little bit late on. But Maeda got one again, Krajina, the young Croat, got two, and Salkic got one in his first start of the year. Away at Rijeka, we reaped the rewards for that as our first team came from behind to win by 2-1. Victor Malaysia got the goal there. Medina managed to get himself one too. I think we made 4 subs in that game. We certainly didn't use the full complement. But again, a really good result on the road. Then in the first leg, in a European tie, again, we stuck to the first 11. And it was a good result, to be fair. A little bit disappointed we conceded that goal late on, as we probably would have been favourites without that today. But it does leave this tie delicately poised, as Fode Fofana finally got off the mark for the season. And Joel Baishel with a big one from a set piece. And then at the weekend, again, not convincing, but we did the job. 1-0 victory thanks to Medina. I did sort of go half and half with first team here, including a couple of new signings. But I did have to use the bench. And as you can see, we were trying to get people off and rested for the week. So a brilliant start so far. Most of the games haven't been convincing. We've had 2 1-0s, 2 2-1s, and then that cup tie that we had to rely on a late win. Other than that, we played 3 poor opposition and won the games. So there are bigger tests to come. 2 of them today, and then probably Osijek at the end of the month with deadline day. But let's have a look at the transfer window, because there have been 2 senior players in and 2 senior players out since you last were with me. We had Christopher Mamengi, who an offer was accepted for when you were last here. He's gone to Rotherham in England for £500,000. 31-year-old Angolan. We mentioned it last episode. He's over the hill. He was earning big money. It made sense. The director of football has done some good business there. And then because we saw Ted Kurd arrive in the last episode, we pushed Cardenas down in the squad planner. He got recommended for the transfer list in the next backroom advice meeting. And then he got sold to Pogon for 700 grand, which is a great deal and nearly double the offer that was rejected a month earlier. For a 35-year-old, that's good business. It's big wages off the bill again. And he's a good keeper. He's done a good job for this club, but he wasn't going to play this year. So it made sense for all parties. There were also a couple of loan players out. Lots going to Bravo, one of our feeder clubs. And a young player that left permanently in Josip Brazina. But at 22, he doesn't look like he was ever going to make it. So again, to get a few grand and a sell-on clause made perfect sense for him. Let's move on to the two arrivals though, because while we're not spending the massive budget we've got, we are adding some good players. You may remember at the end of the last episode, there was an offer for an experienced Greek striker, Giannoulis. He rejected us, another one over wages, a bit like that German centre-half in the last episode. And the next option to come in was from Glasgow Rangers, Timmy Cooper for 2.1 million. Irish international at 24 years of age. Really good regen striker, to be fair. Bit weird that he can also play holding midfield when he's got none of the attributes to do it. He's not like your Rooney or your Dwight York who can go back and spray the ball about in the middle. He's not got the talent for that. What he has got, though, is blistering pace, brilliant finishing attributes, determination and flair, loves to carry the ball and dribble as well. So up front or off the two wide areas, I think we've got a striker who's going to be pretty spectacular. He's not great in the air, so I'll probably just edge Beto as first choice ahead of him for now. I can see him making a lot of appearances, and he's a very good addition to the squad. Still got room for improvement too, and has one of my favourite player traits in a striker, which is he likes to place his shots. So a good addition with Timmy Cooper, and another one, not sure it was needed, but in Hugo Moraes from FC Nantes. 600 grand for a left back, a 24-year-old Frenchman, not an international, not that level of player, but a very solid fullback. And when you bear in mind that our current backup is 33, he's been away at the Olympics and he's declining physically, I just feel like this is a really sensible addition for the future. The director of football is bringing down the average age and he's bringing in solid squad players. That one adds depth, he's quick, he's got good stamina, his mental attributes are fine, and while defensively and technically he is pretty limited, the four attributes that matter, the tackling, the marking, the crossing and the technique, are all the ones that are absolutely fine. So Hugo Moraes, a very good addition of fullback, and again, we'll get plenty of football during the season. Got the assist for the winner at the weekend. With that out the way though, let's get through to the fixtures because these are two very tough games today. You can see based on some of the draws we could have got, this is a very tough tie. We could have had PAOK on, we could have had Zurich, which may have been easier as well. Instead though, we've got Greek opposition. The league is loaded, unlike the Azerbaijani opponents the round before, so we know there's quality everywhere. They've got people on 50 grand a week. They've got players worth 20 million quid. They are a proper football team, so this will not be easy. Of course, the reward if we can win this, being the third qualifying round, is that we're guaranteed European group stage football, even if we drop into the Conference League. If we lose this one on aggregate, we'll drop into the Conference League last qualifier. And then it's a lottery. Do you get group stage football or not? Let's get through the tactical meeting. Let's go and make the changes recommended. We had a full 11 rested at the weekend. So from those that are fit, we should be as strong as possible tonight. Well, unfortunately, in addition to that long-term injury Araujo picked up last time, the right wing has got even weaker because Hugo Gonzalez has picked up a knock and missed a couple of games. That means both Fofana and Malajo will start on the wings. But otherwise, this is a team that you would probably pick. Now, we've had some good news in the last week or two. An offer was actually accepted for Fuad, our star midfielder, the best player at the club. He rejected a move to German football, which is really important for us. As did Juan Medina, who would have been a sub-right winger today. However, I took him out of the squad because I assumed he was going to go and replaced him with the new signing Timmy Cooper. So now I've not got either of my first two choice right wingers because of a registration issue because I thought he was going to be leaving. So Medina will stay. We've also got the new backup left back who can be registered for the next round. But will it be in the Europa League or the Europa Conference? Well, this is the 11 that will hopefully decide it. It is Ted Kurd in goal, who's picked up a couple of clean sheets already. Valadson back at right back with Simic over on the left. Weichel and Clara playing pretty well in the middle. Diambu, Fuad and Suslov the midfield three. Malajo and Fofana out wide. And then up front it is Beto, who's had a couple of poor games, but Timmy Cooper is available on the bench if need be. So late on, if we want to stretch the game, he'll be available to do so. Let's go and get into it. The third qualifying round second leg. With 2-1 up on aggregate, but that doesn't mean a lot when you're going away to a hostile atmosphere in Greece. Well, it's 5 changes today for our hosts. I'm not sure if that's from their league game or from the first leg. It looks like a pretty similar squad to what we played last time. You can see some of the familiar names in there. Rafael Luiz is the £20 million man. Gerardo at the back, another good name. But they are a side that is just laden with quality. So we are going to have to be very careful. Let's go and tell the lads to do what they can. Not really got them motivated at all. I was kind of tempted to go a bit more defensive here, but I didn't know if that would be the right call on a day like this. So with 30 seconds gone, we go through to the first half, and we just want to make it boring. If we can have an ugly 0-0 on the road, I'd be very happy, as we've got a throw on the left with Simic. Down by the corner flag, goes back to Diambu, and Malajo plays it in to Simic. It's a good move, this. Malajo cutting in from the left, chance to shoot. He's got a yard of space, and it's gone over the bar. He should have done better with it in the end. With 15 gone, though, we are offering more than our opponents, which is a good sign. And our shape, to be fair, is naturally quite robust. It's not a really open one, and that may help us out. As Malajo, again, to be fair, didn't start the season as first choice, but has come in and done really well. Finds Suskov, who's in a similar boat there. Out to the right to Varazdin. How long will he last? Into Fuad on the volley. What a save that is. I mean, generally, Fuad's been an aerial threat arriving late in a box, but boy, is he showing some quality. A proper leader. I really hope we don't lose him. As Varazdin puts the corner into the back post, Beto loses out. Out for a throw-in on the other side. A good 20 minutes so far. We'll all be undone if we concede from a set piece, though, as it's up to the back post. We've done exactly that. The £20 million man has put it in for the host tonight. And it's 2-2 on aggregate. Their first shot on target of the match. And they've taken a tie level. Really, really frustrating. We'll tend to the break here, and the stats tell you pretty much everything. Look at those match stats. We've dominated. We're still one down on the night. We've probably played better than the home leg here. One of the things that is concerning me, when you consider how many players that are 6'3" or over we've got, just how poor we've been from set pieces, both attacking and defending. But Beto might make up for that. He was onside as well. The left back played him on. Fuad turns provider. Not the best technically in terms of attributes, but he's finding that deft touch. It's a lovely little through ball to put us level on the night. Boy, do we deserve that. And if we can sneak through this tight and guarantee European group stage football, that would be huge in a renaissance of this football club. Let's tell the boys to keep it up. They're playing well on the night. They're playing well in the tie. Let's just hope we can manage it a bit better, because they will go aggressive at some point. And again, we're giving away a set piece. We're supposed to be good defending these, but again, Rafael Luiz is unmarked. What are you doing? He's the best player at the club. He's a magnificent midfielder. Why are we leaving him unmarked? We've done so much work on defending set pieces, getting loads of players back in the box. And in a game where we've been completely dominant, we find ourselves 2-1 down to 2 set pieces. And it's the sort of thing that leaves you tearing your hair out early in a stage at a club, because you've got to wait for your players to adapt to this. And it clearly was a weakness for them last year. That's why they finished below expectation. And now we've got the work to do all over again. Diambu's in the holding role on a yellow card. Back to Clara, the central defender. You can see we've got a lot pushed forward, but we've got to find the ball up to them. We've got to find a way through what will now be a deep defence. Fuad on the right-hand side. Tries to find it. Somehow gets fortunate. It bounces back to him. Into Fofana. 2 in the middle, but goes back to Suslov. Man on the left is Simic. There's 4 in the middle for the cross. It's Suslov again. Beto's up. Oh my God, he's missed. He's a yard away and he's headed it backwards. Yes, the narrow angle maybe played a factor, but you've got to hit the target there. 20 minutes to go. The expected goals is 2.5 to 0.6. And we are 2-1 down. It is infuriating. We're going to take off both wingers who have been pretty poor here. I'm going to bring on Timmy Cooper on the right-hand side, who will switch over. He'll be the inverted winger, I think. In fact, he'll be an inside forward on attack. And then on the left, we'll bring Malajo off for Krajina. Will just be a traditional winger on support. Diambu is on a yellow card and we don't want to take a risk. So Tazjeff will go in there. And then we're also going to take off Varazdin, who of course is probably knackered at this point, with Puklin coming on at right back. We'll save one more sub for late on in case of injury or fatigue. Beto's getting on a bit. We might have to go for Maeda. Maybe him and Cooper can then rotate. With 15 to go, I don't want to change too much. The performance has been good. And Suslov has got a chance to crown it with a goal. Free kick 25 yards out is just over the bar. I'll be so gutted if we go out here. When we've played so well as well. You can see Fuad's not going to make the weekend game, but this is more important now. We've got 5 minutes to go. I'm going to take Beto off, and I'm going to throw on Maeda. He's scored so many late goals already, I think 3 or 4, and I'm just going to hope he gets another one. We're into stoppage time. I think we're going to extra time, and that is a disaster for the weekend, because away at the Champions, we're going to be able to play none of this team. Keep working hard, boys. Do what you can. Who's the sub now? We are going to bring on a vet for Clara, who's on a yellow card. The other thought with that is a Ver is 6'6", and if anything's going to settle extra time, it's probably a set piece. We've played so well. If you look at the match stats, if you'd have been told we were 2-1 down without seeing a score, you'd be very surprised. It's about as well as we could ask these boys to do, but as always, extra time is going to be quiet. It's going to offer very little, and it's just going to drift to penalties, isn't it? It's going to a 50-50, is it? As we're back for the highlight. Don't do it to me. The keeper catches the cross. Do not let me lose this game before the shootout as it's headed. Oh, we've lost the header. It's been flicked on. Aver is 6'6", and he's missed his header. Thankfully, the shot is wide. You're 6'6", man. Jump. We're into one added minute at the end of extra time. The best time to win it, the worst time to lose it. Kurd with the big kick forward, which Maeda loses, but he wins the ball back for Tagsef and now by Shell. Will we create one more chance? There are 40 seconds left of stoppage time as Simic finds Krajina in towards Fuad, who's lost out in the air, and now we're completely open at the back. We can't keep up. Puklin wins the challenge, but it only falls to Diaz. Out to the left to Burkay and overrun. Why on earth have we seen that? We're going to penalty kicks. There's nothing in it. And there it is. I have no idea why we saw that last minute. But here are the penalty takers. Only 3 of the top ones are still here. Suslov will come in as number 2 there. Timmy Cooper, the new boy, will be 5th. Fuad, I'm going to chuck you in as 6th place. Aver 7th. And then if it goes beyond that, we're in trouble. Because I think Ted Kurd is the 8th best. Let's go and say everyone here should be able to take a penalty. And I would expect us to win the shootout. Blimey. That's a little bit blasé. Show courage. Have no regrets. That's what we want. Can Ted Kurd be an instant hero? Daza Maeda has scored 2 in the league already. And he scored a 3rd. Brilliant effort from him. The super sub delivers again. As Suleimana first up for our Greek host. Ted Kurd, a chance to be a hero. Can he? No, he can't. He goes the wrong way. It's 1-1. 2 good penalties so far. As Suslov, the experienced midfielder, steps up. Biggest earner at the club. Time to earn your wage. Suslov sends the keeper the wrong way. Nice and composed. We're happy with that. Now it's Garau v Ted Kurd. Can the goalkeeper be a hero? Which way is he going to go? The wrong way. Yet again. 2 apiece. 4 very good penalties so far. Tagsef is the last one ranked in double figures for the penalty taking attribute. Not had a good start to the season, but that penalty is cool as a cucumber. Hit with power along the deck. Goalkeeper goes the right way, but he can't keep up with it. Now it's Pasta up 3rd for the Greeks. Will Ted Kurd save? Oh, he should have got there. He went the right way. There wasn't a lot of pace on it. Ended up going just above him. And now we're down to the dross. By Shelder centre-half. Some great goals from corners. But they were all with his head. That penalty, though, was as composed as you like. We're keeping the pressure on. Will Albert Navarro be the man to slip up? Left-footed. Saved by Ted Kurd. Went down the middle. Kurd gambled or just didn't react. Whichever one you want. But in the end, it worked in his advantage. Because now, if we score this one with Timmy Cooper, the new signing, we will be through. And we'll be saying Ted Kurd and Timmy Cooper, 2 of the director of football signings, are the heroes. Another left footer. Please, Timmy Cooper. Oh, it's saved. The chance to be a hero is a poor penalty. We've only got poor takers left. But how much will that opportunity cost us? Because if Diaz scores now, it's back on terms. And then we're relying on the next round of the Conference League if we go out. Ted Kurd, save this. You're a legend. Diaz sends him the wrong way. And now, how do you rebuild your confidence? Because you were 1 away from going through. Fuad, the skipper, steps up. His rating is awful for penalties. Right-footed. Should have just put him 5th. Trusted him to never do anything wrong. His technical attributes are poor, but he keeps delivering. And now we're back ahead. The pressure is back on. And Zapropoulos is the next man up. 1 more save, Ted Kurd, please. Going to be a long episode, this, isn't it? Shootout could go on forever. Or will it be stopped by a new keeper? Yes, it will, Ted Kurd. He's just given up diving. He's waited in the middle until they hit one at him. And that's exactly what Sabropoulos does. We deserve to go through on the night. We were magnificent. There's still some concerns defensively in our performance. But Ted Kurd, you are a new club legend. Through to the dressing room we go. European group stage football secured. We'll see who we get in the Europa League playoff, but even if we lose it, we're going into the Conference League. Well, it's fitness test time, and since Thursday night, we've had a lot of loan offers coming in, some of which accepted. Some for Berislav Kale, one of the young holding midfielders, and some for Kuljanak, the young Bosnian centre-half. Krajina apparently wants to leave after we rejected one, which is a bit of a shame because I actually value him really highly and will play him a bit. So another homegrown player that may be leaving. But the big problem for now is that we played on Thursday night. We played 120 minutes. I'm not sure how many of this team are going to be fit. The ones that came off, maybe, and the ones that came on might have to merge together to make an 11 here. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a buffer in the league, but now the trickier games start. Our next two away matches are today against the Champions Varazdin and then against Osijek in a couple of weeks. So let's get through the tactical meeting. Let's see what our 11 looks like for now. You know what? That's not great, is it? Let's go and get it picked. We'll be back in a minute to run through it in full. Well, I feel I've done what I can here to try and make this squad one that can win, but also that's fresh for Thursday night, where we're going to have a Europa League playoff against, I would assume, very tough opposition. So this is the 11 I've gone for. The ones who stay in are Ted Kurd, Viladsen, Diambu, and Fofana. I think they're the four that started in the week. We've also brought Medina back in, who was cup tied for that one, but is a very good winger. Timmy Cooper comes in up front, solid player. Tagzev the same, and Hugo Moraes, the left back, who wasn't available either. But we have had to go for two players that may be leaving next week. Both the holding midfielder and centre-half could be leaving on loan, as we just saw, but they will start today, as does Aver as centre-half. So it's a pretty strong team, to be fair. We're all right here, but I'm not sure how we compete against the champions. They gave us a good game in a Super Cup final. They didn't play 120 minutes 3 days ago, and that might be the factor that decides this match. Well, here we go, away to Varazdin, and we've got to watch out for the number 9, who scored 2 in 4 minutes against us at the start of the second half in that Super Cup final. Overall, though, we did manage to take advantage in the end, so let's just see how we get on here. Into the first half we go. A tough game, a tough ask, but they were surprise champions. We should still be finishing above them. It's just whether we can keep everyone fit. As Moraes, the new boy, has got a throw on the left to Tagzev. Back to the edge to Carlo. Good effort, that. Off the crossbar. Medina was looking to get on the rebound. Really positive start, but nothing coming from it. And now we've got to deal with the goal kick, which is long downfield. Thankfully dealt with by Fofana on the left, who can carry the ball forward. We've still got options on the bench. The one thing we've got here, while the first 11 is better than the rest, we've got a big squad of decent players. And I'm hoping today that will pay dividends, as out it comes to Andrade. Finds Mascaro on the right, intercepted by Diambu. Here we go out to Medina, who's got the pace to take on his man. Just goes for it, charges down the line. 3 arriving in the middle. Fuad's in there as well. Sorry, Diambu has replaced Fuad in there. Back to Medina on the edge. Chance to shoot. What a goal that is. And you, sir, will be going straight back in that European squad, because you not leaving is a very good thing for us. What a finish, a moment of inspiration. And when you've got a bit of a reserve side out, when you're trying to find something special, someone who can put it in off the post from 20 yards, that's something you certainly can't turn down. 20 gone, we're 1-0 up, and so are Osijek, who I fear will be our closest competitors this year. As Tagzev picks the ball up in the middle, been a really good performance first half so far. We've been here before against this opposition though, so no getting complacent. As Diambu, one of the few tired ones I gambled on, just starting to look a bit leggy there, even with half an hour gone. We've given the ball away, and oh my God, how's that gone in? I'll tell you what, some of the goals we've conceded since being here are so funny. How they can say that Ted Kurd's made the mistake there. He's dived out to catch the ball, and it's taken a massive deflection. I'm not sure what he can do about that. And now it's back on terms as Aver wins it for Cooper. The ambu to Aver again, and it's wide to Medina. We've seen him cause trouble so far, but he's lost the ball there. And it's becoming a bit troublesome this game. Mascaro puts it in early. Up to the back post. Oh my God, we've done it again. From 1-0 up, we've collapsed. From looking comfortable, we've collapsed. One of the few things we've seen with this side, isn't it? The habit of just conceding little clusters of goals. And why are our two centre-halves in every match? They're so big. They're so good in the air. They keep losing headers. Up to the back post, it's 3. We're falling apart. Here's something we haven't seen yet this year. A complete collapse from Dinamo Zagreb. How many minutes ago was it? 6 minutes ago, we were 1-0 up and completely comfortable. They've had 2 shots on target and scored 3 goals. I'm almost dumbfounded. It's just come from nothing, hasn't it? We've now got to try and regain a bit of control, but we need 2 goals from somewhere, as we've got it 25 yards out, and we're going for the spectacular. Dinamo and Varazdin starting to struggle. Ted Kurd's having a stinker. And at half-time, despite only giving away 2 shots on goal, we're 3-1 down at the Champions. Maybe this is how they were winning the league. Let's go and get through the half-time interval. Going to take Kuljanak out, I think. The only options on the bench really are Puklin, who's played at right back a few times for us, and Graf. Not actually sure which one is better in that role. Probably go for Puklin if I'm honest. He'll go on alongside Aver. Might have to go to right back soon to be fair, because Varazdin's struggling as well. Should I do that actually? Puklin right back. We'll put Graf centre half. He's maybe not as good in that role. We're just going to have to live with it for now. There's a few areas we're a little short. I'm going to drop Diambu into the holding role, I think. But then who can I put in centre mid? It's all good saying you want to take people off. You've got to have replacements. I am going to go Malaysia over Fofana on the left. We should have Gonzalez back for Thursday night. We should have Medina and the new boy at left back in the squad. So that should make it a bit easier. But through the dressing room and into the second half, it's been a nothing game. Their expected goals is 0.4 and they've got 3. This is definitely going to be a concern for me in the coming weeks. How do we stop conceding every chance against us? We can't have an expected goals against of less than 1 and be letting in 2 or 3 goals a game. It's not a way forward, is it? I'm going to have to take Diambu off now. He's been our best player, but I need him more for the week. And I feel I can afford to lose 1 league game. So it's going to be Salkic who comes on. He'll switch sides with Tagzeth. And then, God, what do I do with the last one? I want to get Maeda on because I feel he's a goal threat for us. So Timmy Cooper, not had the best start of the club. I'm just going to take him off for the last few. 25 remaining. Can we at least offer a threat? We'll go attacking soon if we haven't. Well, Ted Kurd's performance is getting worse and the defence is struggling. So I've just gambled. We've gone attacking. We've encouraged the boys. We've got no reaction whatsoever. You can see already a bit of fatigue setting in. A lot of these players that are coming into the team aren't fit. And this game has been one of the most baffling I've seen in a long time. We have lost 3-1 despite only conceding 2 shots on target. And a game that on paper probably should have been 0-0. Our goal was a screamer from nothing. And then an own goal and a free header has turned the game around. What a bizarre game of football. Varazdin showing the champions touch. They're winning when they're not playing well. But that's tightened things up at the top of the table. Our first defeat in charge. And not a particularly inspiring one, was it? Yes, we've rotated the team against one of the best teams in the division. I think that shows we might need a couple more signings if we're going to compete in Europe on Thursday night. And then on Sunday in the league as well. 2 points now separate the top 3, the champions and the 2 favourites. Let's go and have a look at the schedule and see when we're going to return. Well, the Europa League playoff promises to be a difficult one because Sturm Graz are the opponents, but at least we know we've got guaranteed group stage football now. They're a good side. They've got Max Johnston as their star player. There's an interesting one. They're probably a slightly better side than us on paper, but not one who are going to completely overwhelm us. So it could be an interesting tie. Well, we're going to find out together on camera because we will be back for the second leg of that in 2 weeks' time, as well as the away trip to Osijek, the favourites for the title. And then we'll have transfer deadline day as well. It's going to be a long video. It's going to be a bumper special. But much like this one, hopefully it will be worth it. Yes, our first 2 defeats of the season, but a triumphant one in Europe. We got through on penalties, but then that weird old game against Varazdin. Is it going to make it a tight title charge this year? Is it going to be a competitive league, which is what we all want? Well, join me to find out. If you enjoyed this one, please do put a thumbs up on it, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back on Monday for the final 2 games of August and to see what else our director of football can deliver. In the meantime, though, we'll be back with Southend United tomorrow. A huge episode. You need to come and join me for it. That playlist is up in the eye above, as is the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and so much more. Come and check all of them out if you haven't before. And I'll see you back here on Monday in this one as we go through transfer deadline day with our new director of football.